I hope you are ready because we're coming right now tonight.
There it is.
What is it? Damn it. Every civilization finds it necessary to negotiate compromise with its own values. We're talking about 2005's Laugh-O-Rama, Munich. All right,
Laugh-O-Rama. What?
I'm pretty sure there's maybe two laughs this entire film. Like the whole, he's great at making or braising a roast or whatever they say. That's why he's a team leader. This movie's heavy. This movie's heavy, and tonight it's brought by three heavy hitters. We've got Joe Deep Throat Morgan
Hey.
in the shadows. Wrong time.
That's not the deep throat he was talking about, Joe.
Oh,
We got
my
Woodward
bad.
and Bernstein's love child, Russell Craigie.
Wait, who? You're
Watergate's got nothing to do with this movie,
so
but I'm
good.
going with it.
That's so
And
good.
I'm gonna talk about Jews kicking ass. Ben Hansen, here we go.
I'm
Five-man
1%
team.
Jewish. 1%.
1% more than me. That's crazy.
You're 1% too, I'm sure.
Not according to 23andMe. Thanks, 23andMe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm more
I've
Jewish
got
than you.
four components to my blood. Anyway, that's for another one. I couldn't help Russ, but you had text the chat before as the week leading up that you will be forever scarred by the sex scene in Munich. And so the first one comes along and I'm like, she's just pregnant. Like, what's Russ's problem? The whole movie, I'm like, what? This is going to be so weird to unpack. And then, so the question begs to be asked, when was the last time you hate fuck somebody? Jesus.
Was
This
it
movie's
hate fuck? It was just it was so weird. I feel like he was doing it because he felt like he was supposed to. It wasn't out of hate, it was out of love. And he's just visualizing the worst stuff, and the filmography to go with it was so like C-rated movie. Like it was
right.
garbage.
I did notice he was very sweaty at one point, and then they cut back to him and he's not that sweaty. He looks like he's totally normal and like just having a fever dream about having a fever. Yeah, weird choices by Spielberg on that one.
I mean, I did no research into any of it, but just from people I've known who obviously in the context shall now remain nameless.
Okay. This context is sounding interesting.
PTSD is a thing, dude. I feel like that was really out of context way to try and correlate, especially with the way the whole movie played out. Like how do you bring back the reality that this guy's gotta pay the dues for the decisions that he made?
I mean, that's a lot what the entire movie's about. I've got this movie on Blu-ray, once the diamond standard of media entertainment, now literal garbage that I could throw away.
Diamond
I know. People wonder why Gen Xers are pissed off all the fucking time, dude. We're the only generation that went from broadcast television to where you got to sit in front of the fucking TV and time the commercials and figure out what it is. It literally had to run to
the VCR.
Oh wait, no, VCR was the next level, right? Like at that point, right? And you could at least fast forward to the freaking commercials, and then they had HDR, where you could record the broadcast.
TiVo, remember TiVo?
Oh god, TiVo, dude.
Tugger Nuts wants TiVo. Tugger Nuts gets TiVo. That's right.
There's a
Tropical
deep
Thunder
cuts for you coming tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Tropical Thunder, hit the button. Russ doesn't like it when we do that.
Dude, records, CDs, tapes.
Anyway,
come on.
Anyways, so I've got the Blu-ray on this, and Spielberg does this introduction to it that's actually really good. And you can imagine he faced probably a lot of heat for the controversy of just making this movie. Like, are you glorifying
Well, what year was it
terrorism?
made?
Oh, 5.
Okay, oh five. All right.
Yeah. So
Context.
anyway,
Sorry.
he gives this really poignant thing that he's not trying to justify revenge. He's really trying to show that you've got to face up to the consequences of your actions, even if you feel your actions are just. Um, yeah, this movie faces a lot of moral conundrums. Russ, besides being scarred for life, go ahead and rate it and grade it. What'd you think of it?
Um, this is one of those movies that could have won like Best Picture.
Was
Like
nominated.
like it had all the bones to be Best Picture, and then it just goes astray a few times. And I think that sex scene is like the personification of everything this movie does wrong. Just
Yeah.
all like, let's put it all in one scene on turn it up to 11. And for me, that scene like drops it a whole letter grade. It was like, what the why? Why am I watching this?
That lady
Maybe
was
not a
nice. Why was he so mean to her? Yeah.
maybe not a whole letter grade, but I'm gonna say B minus. Um, it should have been an A, but it's a B minus.
Mm. All right. Joe, your counterpoint?
I don't I don't really know that I've got a counterpoint. I mean, I wasn't as hung up on the sex scene as other
That
people
that's just
might
my big
be.
example. My
All
one
right.
big example.
Now, maybe you're like me, and the first one really was good enough to where you were like, I don't care what this movie throws at me.
I mean, yeah, I was kind of like on board at that point. All right, cool. We're doing this thing.
That's
Um
right. I'm in.
overall, well acted, well played. You know, without having done some Google research, it was a little ambiguous. There were some assumptions made that you're just gonna know the context.
Like what?
I mean, just the whole thing, the whole 72 Iranian, Olympics,
Okay. All right. Yep. The
all of that
Olympics got
stuff.
it.
It's 2023. So maybe does it hold up to the test of time in regards to that? A lot of people would be pressed nowadays
Oh, yeah.
to
51 years. Yeah.
know what that's about, and that's a shame. It shouldn't be that way. That all being said, everybody kind of brought their A game on screen. It went on way longer than it needed to.
Mm-hmm.
The whole after action report is what I'm going to call it, where like the things you're recalled, vengeance left unserved, would have been a great outro, and then they went into, anyways, spoilers. Wrap
Good
it up.
Lord.
C plus.
Oh, God. Okay. Just C
Yeah,
plus and drop.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Mic drop with a C plus. Got it.
Hey, you're bitching
Got it.
about me running my gums, so I'm flapping my lips
All
so
right.
hard I'm gonna fly
Well,
away
if you
here. So
didn't
I got to
you
wrap it
didn't
up.
bring enough for everybody, then yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, B plus, C plus, B minus, C plus, whatever. I'd say this movie's a solid B plus. It does go a little long. It does have some scenes where it's like, yeah, you could have cut that. That's cool. You could have cut it. But overall, I find this to be a really compelling movie. The whole idea of a nation calling you up and saying, we need you to be this secret strike force to really, I mean, it's betraying so much about the Jewish people that they would seek out violence, but still to a point on a world stage where it's like you're going to do these things and people are going to know, but nobody's going to talk about it. Like we were in the Cold War with Russia for so long. It's just the preamble to that almost. Really well directed cinematography, the message of the movie, and honestly, the ending has always stuck with me. I always want to find like why. Let's ask now. Why do you think you wouldn't break bread with him? Do you
Wait, I didn't
think?
get we. Oh, you know, you did give us a grade. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait,
Wait. So he asked him to break bread with him, and Jeffrey Rush says no and walks away. And I always think there could be many reasons for that. What do you guys feel is the most likely reason that at the end he's telling him come back to Israel, come back, be in Mossad,
because he's a
but
professional.
he's not going to eat with him?
go ahead, Russ.
I just think because he's a professional and he's like not interested in blurring lines. I mean, it's that cut and dry to me. I do the same thing with my team members, and they go out and celebrate birthdays and sometimes invite me, and it's like, thanks. Maybe I'll see you there. No, I'm not going.
Yeah, no, you can't. No, you can't. You can't get in those situations with your underlings. It's really unfortunate, but it's true.
See, I think it cuts deeper than that. I think it cuts deep to the point of where that's an acknowledgement that the actions that he took removed him from the ranks of the believers.
Oh yeah. I guess that's what I mean. Like, he's a professional, and you're out, dude. Like,
you're out. I don't break bread with those who break the tenets that our religion exists by.
Right, but he hired him for the job.
Doesn't matter.
I know.
He's
that's
a tool.
what
He's a tool.
It seems like such a complex thing right there. And online, when I was doing some research, it mentioned that it was to show that neither side, like Eric Bana tells him no, and then asks him to break bread, and he's like, "No, I won't." That nobody's going to acquiesce and work with the other side. That they're like, "No, there's no way. We're completely broken."
Yeah,
but
no, I mean,
always feel like
it's the most ultimate, probably the most subtle illustration of the conflict between the Iranians and the Palestinians.
Israelis and the Palestinians.
And the Palestinians.
They don't mind that you call them Iranian, I'm sure.
Right.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. Thankfully, nobody knows where I live. No, wait, that's probably not true.
Dude, that just no, you're basically Bruno.
If I disappear.
Right.
What's wrong with Hamas? Everyone loves hummus.
It's great with carrots. Yeah, but on my first watch, I remember thinking like, oh, he's basically saying, no, you're a killer, and I don't sit down and engage on a social level with killers. Anyway, really,
what'd you feel like
ending
this
that
watch?
has always stuck with me. I mean, I still got to the end and was like, I couldn't honestly. I wanted to ask Kelly what she thought, and she agreed the same thing, pretty much. Like, no, you are tainted. To which I said, forever unclean. But it goes for the League watchers will enjoy that one. Anyway, just this movie's got a lot of stuff like that. So 5 dudes, right? You got the bomb maker, you got the worrier, you got the documents guy, you got the leader / head assassin, and then you got the car guy and, future James Bond. If there was a 6th man, what do you think his skill would be?
Ooh.
They're going to hire one more guy.
I already know the answer because I've seen World War Z. He's the one who just has to, even if he agrees with everyone, he has to disagree with all of them and force them all to think about something differently. Also, it's a Jew in that movie too.
Well, I think if you're doing that, then
I'm so
God, it's just going to be
confused.
Jews arguing the whole time, which they will do forever.
Don't you
Joe, what do you
remember
think?
that? I thought that was Joe. You don't remember it, but really good plot point in World War Z. What was
Good
it?
old
It was
World War
called.
Z, also an
I
Academy
just
Award
watched
nominee,
World
right?
War Z not long ago.
Didn't he?
It's like,
Did
Didn't he
you?
say he was the sixth man? Like that's how he like called
oh
himself.
no, the 10th man.
The 10th man, the
The 10th
something
man.
man,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
his whole
yeah.
job
Okay,
is
yeah.
just
His
to.
whole job is to say, all right, 90% of you motherfuckers think that's the facts. I got my tinfoil hat on. Yeah, no, I'm the 10th man. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Um, in this instance, it just I don't know. I just didn't feel the connection. I don't know the flow, I guess.
So you would add a rapper?
What are you saying, Joe?
He's just soundtracking his way through their every killing.
Yeah, every killing. Now, the 6th man was present in the movie with the independent non-political party that was influencing everything and funding the whole situation behind. I mean, that was the 6th man.
What's Israel? I guess so. The bankroller?
No, the bankroller.
Well, all right. If you're not going to answer my question.
I did answer your fucking question. Who's the 6th man?
No.
There is a 6th
No.
man.
Let me ask you this.
He exists.
If the 6th man was you, if Israel said you bring along one goyim and you're the 6th man, what are you bringing to the table? What's your role here?
All right, that guy wears a red shirt.
See?
So I got one freebie.
If it was me, I mean, I would think the actual cloak and dagger person, the one who's legit good at I know it defeats the purpose of what they were saying, like we picked you guys because you are not of this origin, so you're not easily identifiable as someone who could be a spy or blah blah blah, but somebody who's got some kind of training on espionage, like just someone who can hide in the shadows really well. Like all these people were basically bakers and that kind of thing, and I would want to be the one who's like, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
You know what's scary is this is probably actually a real world analogy to how they put together these special operative forces. Like there were multiple times watching this movie where I was like, wait a minute. So at one point or another, it's illustrated that every member of his team comes from a non-illustrious career, right? Like none of these guys are high-level operators, trigger pullers, like none of these guys have that background. And they're all given this assignment and this unlimited funding, and they're sitting around in high dollar hotels, eating breakfast, chilling, talking about all this ridiculous, like world changing stuff. And even they even illustrate it with that scene where the guy comes in and he's like, look, you need to give me your source. And they're like, yeah, no, we exist beyond you.
Mm-hmm.
You canceled my dental benefits, motherfucker. I ain't got to tell you shit.
That's right. That's right. Where's my vision? I need glasses.
The bank box shows up empty. I go home. You just, you tell me.
I wonder how much they got by the end. Anyway, that's not a question I mean to ask. What I mean to ask is, this is the 5th Steven Spielberg movie we're covering on this show.
Is it really? God damn. I mean, it's hard not to hit. It's hard not to hit Steven if you're talking about movies.
Right. Russ is just sending photos as we're in here to make noise. Thanks. Thanks.
Dude, I had to share.
Remind me to turn off notifications next time.
Is it another Slimer movie?
No. I'm reading about Munich, and there's this ad on the side, and there's this guy who has. This has nothing to do with the show, but the biggest, most perfectly rectangular mustache I've ever seen in my entire life. It covers his entire face.
Great.
Like, if my facial
It's great.
hair could grow this far, you guys got to see it. I thought you might
got-
look at
you
it.
just got to.
We could talk about it right now. I know it's a distraction from
Would you look at it?
but it's very interesting.
Just look at it.
I don't know why you are. All I see is stupid fucking memes about squirting all over people. Great.
No,
it
you're-
looks like
Look
like
at that
somebody
mustache.
put permanent marker on duct tape, put it over his mouth, and then ripped it off. Looks absolutely ridiculous.
Is this a thing I actually need to go look
It's
at?
a real
right now?
person.
Oh, no, come on. Fifth Spielberg movie. That's what we were talking about before Russ, who's not on the show that he's on, decided to look at fucking
Hey,
Google.
if you'd like, I could
guys with
just move
mustaches.
things across the screen.
Like even a Warhammer thing would have been excusable. This is I don't know
Swear
if
to
this is
God.
excusable.
Steven Spielberg, greatest of all time, greatest of the
Goat?
last 50 years.
No, come on,
Who-
man. That's a whole episode
who-
by itself.
Who has a bigger breadth of work
I mean, Michael
to
Bay.
pull from? No. No.
Ben's like, why the fucking show up? Why the fucking why? Why?
This is a
Yeah.
good episode. Christian, you're going to love this.
I mean, I can't think of his name right now. Friggin' the guy that did AI.
Robin Williams. And it's fucking Steven Spielberg. What are you talking
No,
about?
Steve Spielberg didn't do friggin' AI. Who fucking did AI?
I'm pretty sure he fucking did. Douche
Yeah.
nozzle.
Well, I
Oh
mean,
my god, yes, 100%.
Yeah, it was Steven
115%.
Spielberg. You fucking
Dude.
idiot.
who was the
Oh,
guy that
That's
wrote
what I'm
it?
saying.
Who's the guy who wrote it? A screenplay by Steven Spielberg.
All right, well, so that's not the one I'm thinking of.
No, it
God,
definitely
what's this
was
guy's-
because I'm
what's his
telling
name?
you,
No, I mean I'm looking right now. I've
Spielberg
resorted
is
to Google.
ridiculous when it comes to like, what's a great movie? Was it directed by Steven Spielberg? Probably. He's got some stinkers out there, for sure. But all in all, he's contributed a ton to modern film.
What do you
So
think
Yeah.
his top
I
five
mean,
are?
just better. I don't know, just like the
top
best
five,
of
dude.
the last 50
That would take
years.
some time to sort through. I
I mean,
feel
right?
like.
So this motherfucker, you ask him for a top five, and he's like, "Well, I need time." He drops it in the freaking conversation. Oh, Spielberg's the best in the last 50 years. Come on, man, that's a whole conversation.
Shit, he did Catch Me If You
Uh,
Can, Jaws, Indiana Jones, The
Yep.
Color Purple, this
Yep.
movie, Empire of the Sun, like
I mean, no
Fucking
arguments.
Jurassic Park.
E.T.
Spielberg
Jurassic Park.
is
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
a giant among men. You know,
Yeah, he's people emulate him. It's
He did Saving Private Ryan. You
Oh my god! And
also your favorite movie,
Spielberg
Joe.
Stevens did Saving Ryan's Privates, I believe.
He did Schindler's List. Come on,
Hey,
Joe.
which we
Yeah.
haven't done yet, which is a great fucking movie.
But
No, I mean,
Well,
I'm
in
a
that
Spielberg
vein,
fan. I'm just not
what's a
willing to
heavier
sign
movie?
off.
come on, name one who comes even close.
Man, I'm fucking
Ridley Scott,
drinking.
maybe. And
Right,
he-
Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott
and
can
he's
be up
leagues
there.
behind him.
He's
Leagues
got
behind him.
amazing movies, but like the body of work to pull from. Eventually, you run out of Ridley Scott. You just, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about the actors in this movie. Who do you think was acting the best? What's the best major role in the film?
I gotta say, Cirian Hinds.
Cirian.
No, it's not how it's pronounced. Because I googled it, and it's
Oh,
just
it must
two
be
things.
all. It must be true then.
No, it's true. How do you
Right,
pronounce?
right.
Anyways, it's Cirian,
Emperor
I think.
himself, yes.
But I think
Augustus Caesar.
anytime I see him, I'm always happy because he does not cast stuff, and he's actually really good. And I think he was good in this. He was one of the few characters that I didn't think had a bad scene. And one of the reasons I'd knock this movie down when I think it should have been an A. I'm not basing it all on that sex scene. I know I played into it a lot, but I feel like
I know that's my role.
every character just did not deliver in this whole movie.
Right.
To
Robert was a little too much. Daniel Craig had his moments where it was like, come on, douche. Even Eric Bana, who
Yeah,
I thought was
Daniel
really great.
Daniel Craig was fun. Banner was good. Um,
Joffrey Rush was pretty great. I don't think he had a bad scene.
Cirian Hinds,
It's Kieran.
Cirian.
Cirian. I've never actually seen his name in print.
No, I mean, if you're gonna say it the way it's spelled, it's Ciaran, but it's Kieran.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Have you met this guy? Because I have.
I want to
What
hear that
about-
story. How did
What
that
about
happen, Ben?
Matthew Amalric?
Let's see. Now, he's the one who played Lewis. I actually find him not fun to look at.
Dude,
Like
he looks like
his
that
bug
character,
eyes. Yeah, his bug eyes make me. I'm always like that. Something's wrong with that fucking dude. Like he's got some crazy fetishes in real life.
But
I don't know what it is.
He looks like someone who would be delivering information.
Yeah, no, he looks
He's
like a shifty,
perfectly
smarmy, gross. Yeah, I would agree. And I
his
thought
dad
Michael
was good,
Lonsdale
too.
as Papa,
Yeah.
phenomenal. Probably one of the better mid-range roles. This movie has a lot of speaking parts to it. There's a lot of a shit ton of roles.
There he
But
is. I found him.
there are a couple of really great scenes with just a character who only
Wait.
appears that once.
Who did Joe
Do you
find?
guys have any favorite small roles?
No, don't worry about what I found. I'll come back to it when it's appropriate. I found my greatest directors of all time.
Key Run. That's what it is. Key Run. All right.
Michael Lonsdale is Papa.
Yeah. But I felt like he got too much time on the screen to be a small role. You know what I mean? There were some guys who were only in one or two scenes.
So
I don't know
Papa,
two scenes.
Great.
I don't know the character's name, but I do remember the scene when they've got the safe room provided by Louis and the other guys come in and they are on opposite ends of the spectrum and they end up Eric Bana and the other guy go outside and have a cigarette together.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
Guy Zuevert.
I really liked him. As far as
the actor's name is Omar Metwally. And he was actually my runner-up. I did think he was pretty damn good. When they see each other and they're shooting at each other from the other side of the car, I was like, I can imagine how it looks absurd at the moment, but is probably so realistic to try and shooting somebody around a car with those little Walther PPKs or whatever they were.
It's so funny actually because as much of this movie as I found confusing, because I'd never seen it before. And so coming into it, it was like, what am I watching? And I only watched it once. I couldn't make myself watch it again.
Wow.
I actually found that to be one of the most compelling scenes in the movie where it was like, all right, you're really actually creating an ideological conflict. You know, these two men.
And he did it on purpose. Louis did it on purpose.
Well, and I feel like I was waiting for this to come up. I feel like, and I'm going to hijack it for a minute, but I feel like this was one of the whole points of the entire movie was that conflict. Like, at what point are you right and the other person's wrong?
Yeah, right. The Palestinians had a really compelling argument as to why they have this entire reason for hating the Israelis.
Right. And in that brief scene, when they're both pointing their guns at each other and they've had this intimate bonding moment between the both of them, where just, in all reality, probably less than 8 hours before, They were brothers in arms, hiding out, rising up against the institution, doing what they needed to make the figure right the wrongs in the world. And now you're staring across the barrel of your gun at the dude that you know and respect, however fleetingly. And you have to call, are you right or are he right? Because one of you is going to die.
Right.
And that's I feel like that was the whole underlying story of the movie.
It definitely is one of the themes that he hits on again and again in this movie. Besides the counterpoint to how will you deal with the decisions you made. Russ, did you have something to say, or I couldn't tell? No, just move on.
Maybe.
All right.
I was thinking about two other movies as Joe was talking. One is Kingdom of Heaven, which kind of shows the back and forth of the like historical how long this whole battle conflict has gone on. And I mean, Kingdom of Heaven was actually kind of late to the game, and that movie takes place, I don't know, thousands of years ago. But
hundreds, but yes,
hundreds equaling 1,000, whatever.
Kind of thing where
common
core
like
math.
Common core math. We're all
but
there.
Also, I know I've talked about it at least twice on this show already, is the beginning of the kingdom. Just like, it's so easy to take a short amount of time, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and watch a simple breakdown of how things got to where they are, and be sympathetic for those living on the opposite side in the Middle East. And nobody's right. It's a fucked up situation. Or
at least it's been going on so long that nobody's so right that they can win the argument. It's just been going on too long. The only person who's gonna win the argument is the one who says, let's reach an agreement right now and let everything else go. But as anybody in a relationship knows, it's hard to let that shit go. It builds and it builds.
You know what sucks about the whole thing is you even hear it on news today, is Israel says, we will not back down because they literally want the extermination of our race. Mm-hmm. And then when it goes to the other side and they're like, is that true? They're like, well, yeah. It's just like,
well, okay. We're not going to be safe until they're gone. Yeah. And I mean, the biggest plus to Israel is they've got the Tom Petty won't back down campaign music to help them with their message. Whereas Palestine is like, that's right,
back down.
Palestine doesn't have a counterpoint that's like Jews are evil. I'm sure there are songs out there, but they're not as popular as Tom Petty.
Look, I'm going to interrupt real quick. I'm just going to say, right. History is written by the winners, right? And the three of us are all products of our environment, and our knowledge and expertise on what's actually happened in the world is extremely colored.
Zero. I don't know shit.
What do you mean? I Google stuff. I know it all.
I love you guys for reinforcing my point. At the end of the day, it's all a propaganda machine.
Yep.
And it's an absolute tragedy that because I guarantee you, I'm gonna keep this as short as possible. I guarantee you, if you go down into the roots and the neighborhoods and the people, and you really get down to the roots of the conversations that these people have with themselves, and they're like, why the fuck is this 100 feet of religious ground worth my life? And it's not.
You're making
it. We can all coexist.
Ben fall asleep here. I will say there is like, just to get deep on this show for nobody who cares except maybe those 3 people. There's like, if you literally try, someone presents a point out there very frequently in the world today, and you might hear it like one side of it more often than another side. But if you just legit try on your own to find the opposite side, it's not that hard. And usually the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And it's like that for this, in my opinion. Like, if you just literally just type in the
Dude,
Palestinian
how?
side of the information into the internet, somebody has done an article on it. Somebody has interviewed these people. So, and maybe it's only 80% correct or something like that. But you just use your brain and realize not everything's 100%. But the point of view and the reasons behind things, like, you can kind of get there. And I don't think anybody comes out of the womb just like, I'm Satan and I'm here to just kill other people.
Like Ben, you referenced earlier a DNA test that you did, 21andMe or figure what was it?
23andMe.
23andMe.
Have you had 23andMe
If
before?
well, I mean, come on, it's a family show. But if you took all of those people in the Middle East and all of the millennias of wars and conquests and all of the things that have happened, and all of these people, all of them took a DNA test and registered, there are no sides. They're all just fucking people. And it's the beliefs and the propaganda. And again, I'm not trying to delegitimize or speak ill or minimize people's beliefs that are powerful. But if you really take a moment to step up beyond that into the human condition, we're all just fucking humans, dude. We're all just a parasitic infestation on a rock that's spinning through space.
Yeah.
I just had this great vision of our friend Joe Morgan going on Joe Rogan's show and them both getting high and just talking.
Just dabba da do.
Hey, Joe.
No,
Yeah, I mean, I
no.
totally agree, Joe. Yeah, life is complicated. You're a cool guy.
That's right.
That's fucking
So
hilarious.
I really like the accountant who said, "Bring me receipts." I thought that was a
Yeah, no,
really
that
great
was
scene.
fantastic. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
And they
but cool,
reiterated
yeah.
that multiple points. He was like, I need receipts.
Yep, I need receipts.
You know,
Pretty good.
I liked him, but I feel like he was one of the ones who was overacted and didn't.
But I felt like that was one of the sub stories that went through really subtle, because
I like
every time they acquired
kept a
a
running
target,
tally of
yeah,
how
it
much
was
it
like
costs.
how
Yeah.
much it cost to put that guy in the dirt.
I did like it. I just felt like his delivery on, especially when he comes back around, he's trying to get him to open up about everything that happened, and he's not going to. I felt like the dialogue that he had just felt very Hollywood and
Dude, in the
forced.
scene where that guy committed and he was like, look, we done spent the money. This motherfucker's going down. And he freaking charges in there and he handles that shit. When he was he killed that one target, like specifically.
I think
Which one? The very first one?
I want to say it was second, maybe third.
Well, the third, I'm pretty sure, is the bomb in the hotel next to the newlyweds.
Right, and the
The
second
first
one
one is the poet with the groceries. And
no,
I'm
talking about when the accountant runs up because the situation breaks apart and he's got the contact with the hotel manager.
Oh, that's one of the last ones. Yeah, that's one of the last ones.
That one was
he throws the grenade in.
Yeah, he's like, for shoots the guy, throws the fuck grenade in, closes the door, gets blown up, runs out. Like, dude, like, I mean, these guys are invested.
Yeah, it hands the guy a wad of cash and he just throws it on the ground. And
What-
yeah, that
You almost get a sense from the strike squad from the strike squad that they know their actions have separated them from their beliefs.
yeah, they're just trying to hold on to the righteousness of their task. Other than that, they've completely turned away from the tenets of who they are. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean
absolutely.
they've completely accepted and put on the mantle of I'm gonna be the demon for my people.
Yep,
What is
absolutely.
what's
That
your
is what this
guys
movie's about.
what's your guys totally different frame here, but
Cool, why not?
Eric Bana. Favorite Eric Bana role.
Oh, it's fucking Bruce in Finding Nemo. A little chum for chum, eh?
Is he Bruce?
No, he's not Bruce. He's Chum. Sorry, not Bruce, but he's a shark in Finding Nemo. Also, Funny People. He's pretty good in
I
that.
couldn't say without having done some research. He's got
I
some
mean,
memorable scenes that roll through my mind.
I I love
Let me see.
Hulk, that original one. I think
The Ang
it's
Lee, yeah,
it's a
Oh
very
God,
underrated.
it
It's a
was the
very
him
underrated
and Jennifer
Marvel
Connelly.
movie.
that was
Hell
But
the
yeah, Nick
best
Nolte.
reimagining of Hulk, in my
but
And he
opinion.
got
my
shit on.
favorite.
Got shit all on.
I
Yeah,
know,
no,
But that's because
and
he
it was
fights
totally shit
fucking.
mutant
on
It
it.
dogs
was
in it.
so good.
He
It
fights
was.
mutant fucking poodles in
I
it.
don't
That's
And
why it
give
got
there
a
shit on.
shit,
and
dude. It
those
was so
dogs,
good.
that dog fight scene was pretty incredible, and it's
When
so
the
violent.
dog bites him and he flexes and breaks its teeth, I thought that's fucking cool.
And I feel like it really captured Hulk though, like the jumping and
Hmm.
the Hulk
Oh, he
picking up
was in
the tank
Hannah.
and stuff. The
Black
Hulk
Hawk
in
Down.
the Hulk in the current Marvel
Yeah,
movies like wasn't there right away, and I think they over time tried to grow him more into that. But I think Nero is my favorite role for him in Star Trek. He is
yeah.
so
Nemesis.
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
No,
No,
not Nemesis, you jerk.
yeah, no. It's not Nemesis. It's the
What is it
original.
then?
Star Trek the
It's
reboot.
the original Star Trek reboot.
It's the reboot where he's Nero, he's the villain.
Yeah, Nero.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
He's the
right.
no,
one
that
who
was
goes,
really, really,
"Fire
really good.
everything."
Yeah.
Everything.
I would
I
rather
want
watch
Spock dead.
the death of Romulus 1,000 times than ever accept help from the likes of you. Like he's just really good in that
Yeah, no,
movie.
he's really,
Pretty good.
really
Pretty
good in
good.
that movie.
He's ready for a
Um,
Renaissance.
dude, he's in Black Hawk Down. Great
He is.
role.
A shit ton of
Uh,
people are in Black Hawk Down.
Troy. You
It's
know,
a shit
not the
movie.
most
He's
memorable role in Troy, but he does
No, he
well in
was
it.
actually pretty great in Troy. He because
He
he's
was an excellent. He offset Brad Pitt really well in Troy.
yeah, and he did great. It actually, Troy had so many flaws to it. Ben was the first person to talk about Brad Pitt's ass to me before, and it was while we worked at Blockbuster, and it was for that movie. I hadn't even seen it yet,
What?
but I will
No,
remember.
I
Ah,
don't think
God.
that's.
I
I
love
know
it.
that's
I
not true
love
because I never
everything
finished that
about
movie.
this commentary right
It was
now.
either you or Jason, and I'm just gonna go
It
with
must
you.
have been
That's so
Jason. Yeah.
good. That's
But hey,
so good.
what's your favorite Daniel Craig role?
Oh,
You know
fuck,
what I've seen a
dude.
lot is Deliverance. Another movie about Jews hiding out in the forest during World War II.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a really good movie,
I've seen
actually.
that movie a fair amount of times. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I'd have to look him up really. I can say
I
that he's
mean,
got
this
incredibly piercing blue eyes.
his James Bond roles are out there. Knives
I
Out. He's gotten recent acknowledgement for his Knives
he's
Out
he's
I
roles.
did
really
like Glass
great.
Onion, but not for him.
I liked him in Glass Onion because he did something a little different. Like he always plays serious British dude, but um, I Bond's probably my favorite. He's my favorite Bond. I think I've told you guys that before. I like his gritty realism, and I like the more kind of intense graphic violence in his roles than the other ones do. But Layer Cake is so good. And I love him as the
Pretty great
voice
movie.
in it. And what was up? Oh God, I had another one. You guys hate it, but the first 10 minutes of Cowboys and Aliens,
Oh, Jesus,
great.
Mary, and Joseph Christ,
Dude, when he just wakes up and he's like, "Who am I? Where am
Why do
I?"
I show up to this fucking show?
No.
I
Let
can't
me
believe
just
that even
synopsis it
happened
for
right
you.
now.
He wakes up in a desert and he's
Okay.
like, "Where the fuck am I?"
This
And he
is what
looks
we're
at his
doing right
wrist.
alien
now.
watch on
He's
me.
got some shit on it.
This is what we're
And
doing
then
right now.
these weird hillbillies walk up to him. There's 3 of them on their horses and they've got shotguns and shit. And they're like, "What you doing around here, boy? What you do?" And he just beats them all to death with his hands. And it's in a really like good action. Like he's just fucking awesome. He's like riding his high on Bond at that point, and he can just beat people up in movies really well. Does a great job.
All right.
I can tell you, not my favorite role for him, but he and Mr. Hinds from this movie, Carl, who I think was my favorite major role as well. They were both in Road to Perdition. I love that movie. I don't know why. It's just
on my list. On my list,
dude, such a good movie.
Defiance. What about Defiance?
Yeah, that's the one I meant. Sorry, not Deliverance, Defiance. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
No, well, you said Road to Perdition because he's in that one too, which is also a good role for him.
Yeah, but definitely not my favorite.
No,
I just wanted to
Defiance
talk
is
about Road to
great.
Perdition for a minute.
Oh,
Defiance is really good.
yeah.
It is really good. Really love that.
Defiance, and then I had the one that I wanted to bring up. Where did it go? I just had it.
Was it Cowboys and Aliens?
I'm gonna pick
that
Cowboys.
was actually the one.
If you guys say one more bad thing about
Aliens.
Cowboys and Aliens, that's the next movie we're doing. Because
That's one of Harrison Ford's
Fuck
worst
some
roles.
Cowboys and Aliens, because I'm looking forward
right.
to absolutely
There
shitting
it
all over you for that.
Fucking John Favreau.
Yeah, let's do that. The Golden Compass, not my favorite role for him. 10-10.
No, that's a tough one. That was like they
Honestly,
really
I really felt like he was a sleeper in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, dude, that movie's fucking dope.
Yeah, no, I
That
mean
movie's sick, dude.
He's a champ in that fucking movie.
That movie's
if I had to
cool.
and I'm a Bond aficionado and I don't particularly like his rendition of Bond. So
yeah, but we've heard yours
to keep the conversation square, eliminating his performance as Bond, I would put that as his top performance. I mean, I would personally put it as top performance even with Bond.
I might agree with that. In like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is a movie that I wanted to dislike because I feel
everybody wanted to. It got so much hype it was retarded. Everybody wanted to.
But then you watch it and it's like, oh, this movie's fucking like it goes everywhere.
Oh, okay. It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it was just the title, but my age group has this specific group of people in it that are anime fans, and they're really annoying. And I had to go to high school with them. And so, like, anytime something comes out that in this movie in particular, it's just the title. I saw the title and I was like, anime losers. Fuck that movie. And so I wanted to hate it so bad. And then I watched it and I was like, this movie's pretty badass.
Yeah, I would put that as my top Daniel Craig performance, personally. It's just me.
I like that movie a lot as well.
I wouldn't knock it. That's a great pick.
Great pick, but it wasn't this pick, which average rating was an A+. Like and subscribe if you made it this far, which according to statistics, 30 seconds in, we lost 90% of our viewers. So thank you. Appreciate it. So maybe watch it a few more times all the way through.
Hey, Ben, whatever. Glad you guys made it to the end. Did you guys like and subscribe?
If anyone made it this
far,
did
you share? Did you guys share?
I
I'm
absolutely
sharing.
shared it. I
If
shared it with
anyone
my
made
book
it this
club,
far,
my knitting circle.
if anyone made it this far, I didn't actually get to say it because I think Joe started talking.